Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are at day 8 of the April Daily Leetcode Challenge and we again have an easy question in front of us. Let's quickly see what it is. It's, by the way, let me tell you this. This is, I will say, it's something that you can even solve it using this can be solved using the brute force also, and obviously you can also apply some trick here. You have to understand that logic. You have to do that observation basically, and this can be treated even as a medium level question because here even for a bigger range input, okay, currently it is very less, but even for a 10 by 5 range input, you can actually have a solution which will work for this. Okay, so other than the brute force also, like see, brute force means it will be around O of n square, but even with the O of n we can do this. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you now. So if you see this question, what they're talking about, it's double 396 minimum number of operations to make elements in array distinct. Okay, I will not read the actual question, but I will just tell you the summary of it. See, we are given positive integers. Okay, if you see the constraint, basically we will have all the numbers as positive. Okay, so now if you see all the numbers are positive here, from like all the numbers are going to be one, starting from 1 until 100. Now they are saying that we need to make this array, like the idea here is we'll have to keep doing a single operation till all the elements in the array are distinct. Okay, so till all the elements in the array are distinct, we'll have to keep doing one operation. What is that operation? They are saying that the operation is to remove first three elements. Okay, that is remove three elements from the beginning of the array. Okay, so yeah, one more thing is if there are less than three elements from the beginning of the array, then we have to remove all the elements. Okay, and one very important thing is even empty array is considered as a distinct. The idea is even empty array will be considered to have a distinct elements. Okay, because it's empty after all. So if you see in this case, what is happening basically? See, in this case, we have 1, 2, 3. This is the first set of three elements. Then we have these numbers as the second set of three elements, and these three numbers. So if you see what is happening, the number three basically is coming here also. So we will remove the first three elements first. Okay, because the number three is getting repeated. If you see, even the number two is getting repeated multiple times. Okay, so two and three are getting repeated multiple times. So we'll have to remove the first three operations in order to try to see if the array can be made as a distinct or not. So what we'll do is we'll remove the first three elements, and then only these elements will be remaining. Okay, only these elements are remaining. We'll again do the same operation. See now, when you see this again, you get to know that two is now unique, but the number three is still repeating. So again, we have to do the same operation. We are going to remove the first three elements. Okay, after doing that, only the last three elements are remaining, and we find that okay, these are distinct. Okay, so after applying two operations, we get to know that okay, these are not distinct. So the answer is going to be two because we applied the operation two times. That is, we removed three into two elements. Okay, that is total six elements we removed. So that is what is the answer. So yeah, that is what we have to remove basically. So yeah. Mm, remove, yeah, distinct. To achieve this, you can perform the following operation any number of times, and that is what is the question. Okay, yeah, return the minimum of operation needed to make the elements in the array distinct. Okay, that is the question for you, and you can see in this example number two. Basically, if you see here, the number four is repeating. So what you have to do is you have to remove the first three, and after removing the first three, we are only left with two elements. Okay, and even these two elements are now repeating. So you have to see after doing the first operation, we are left with two elements. Even in that, there is repetition. So we'll have to remove that also. So total of two operations we are going to apply. Okay, and in the second case, or in example number three, we don't have need any operation because everything is distinct here. Okay, so answer is zero. So how to tackle this problem? Okay, see, there are multiple ways to do it, but the way that I will see, many people will suggest you to use a map. What is a map? Basically, map is basically key value pair. They will ask you to, for each character, they will ask you to record you know the index in which it appears from the start. Okay, that is the first index in which a character appears, something like that. So you can do that also, but I will not do all those approach. I will try to do the most efficient approach. So what I will do is, see, I'm just capturing the length. Okay, and then I'm creating a variable r. Okay, by the way, you can even comment it out because it's not needed directly. Previously I was using while loop, but now I've changed it to a for loop, so even this is not needed now. Okay, now see, I'm only using using a set. Why I'm using the set? Because I need to track which all elements I've listed. Okay, so whenever I get to know that I'm listing element again, I will conclude that okay, this is not a distinct anymore. Okay, we'll have to start the operations now. So what I will do is I will start from the end. Okay, I will start from the end. So I will start, the r will go from n minus 1 till 0. Okay, r will be from n minus 1 till 0. Then we'll just see if num sub r is not in visited, that is we are going visiting this element for the first time, we'll simply add it. Okay, if this is not the case, that means we have found the first element. Okay, which is because of which the repetition is happening. So for example, let me take you to this example. See, we'll start from 7, we'll go from 5, we'll go to 5, then we'll go to 3. Till this point there is no repetition happening. Okay, now by the second we move from this, okay, there is 7 by 3 is fine, but the second we come to this 3, we get on that there is a repetition happening. So try to see this, friends, till this 3 is removed. Okay, basically till this 3 is removed, we will be getting repetitions. So idea here is from this point onwards, basically from this point onwards, all the elements should be removed. Okay, all the elements from this point should be removed. Okay, please see this example. This is the one. Okay, if you are starting from right, that is from 753 when you are going. This is the element in which the repetition starts. So basically, all these elements. Okay, so, yeah, this one. All these elements should be removed. Okay, that's the basic idea, right? That is the why. That is the reason why it's always best to start from the right in this case. Okay, so once we get to know, once we see such a case, yeah, that's what I'm doing. See, what we're doing is I'm doing r plus 1, then I'm dividing it by 3, and I'm taking the ceiling of that. Why this works? See, first of all, why I'm doing r plus 1? See, idea here is, let us say this part. Okay, I am at this particular index. Okay, here the index is going to be 5. Okay, the index in this case is going to be 5. But see, when you divide 5 by 3, basically, you will get, see, 5 divided by 3 is basically, 1 point something, right? It will be 1 point something. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm doing r plus 1. Okay, so that it becomes 2 directly. Okay, as simple as that. And then I'm taking ceiling. Now you will ask me why, like in this example, obviously I agree that I can't show you why it is being r plus 1. But the idea here is, imagine like somewhere in between that. Okay, let us say there are in the index number 4. Okay, in the index number 4. Okay, not in next, let me take you. Okay, let us say index. See, the idea of r plus 1 is basically, see, because it is zero index, right? This is being zero indexed. But the idea here is, when we take a number, basically we want the one index based. Okay, that is the reason why I'm doing r plus 1, and then I'm taking the ceiling of it. Okay, while deriving it, we have to see multiple examples, and then we have to come to this. Okay, as simple as that. But the logic is still simple. See, we are taking ceiling, that is true, but see, we have to take the edge case. Okay, for example, see, if this is, we have to take all the multiples of 3. Let us say we are at a multiple of 3. Let us say we are between 5 and 6. Okay, so for 5 and 6 both, it matters like what answer we are going to get. Okay, as simple as that. So those things will matter here. Okay, as simple as that. But again, I agree, we are taking ceiling. So what I'm thinking is, maybe we can remove this one, basically. But previously when I saw a case, I felt like it was needed, so I did it. But again, yeah, when we're taking the ceiling, I guess, yeah, we can go ahead and remove that one. But yeah, I will have to see multiple examples where this could fail. Okay, but yeah, for now I'm feeling that, okay, this plus one can be removed. And then, yeah, once this is done, let us say this else condition never works. In that case, we'll have to return true. That is, in this case, if this condition was never executed, that means we never saw element which is repeating. In that case, we are returning 0 as the answer. Okay, as simple as that. So I've already submitted the solution. I did work, and by the way, it is beating 100% of the test cases, basically. Okay, so if you see here, it is beating around 100% of the test cases. Yeah, this is my code. Okay, so often that was all for this particular video. So I showed you. See, that's why I always say, for easy questions, your target should be to get the approach. See, easy questions, believe me, everyone can do. Even in O of and score approach, you can do this. Okay, but the idea here is, let us say you are in an interview and this question comes, and obviously all the people in the interview are able to solve this kind of questions. Okay, at least in a brute force order, they will be able to solve. So how will you ensure that you are getting selected to the next round? For that reason, I always say, whenever it's an easy question, you should always try to do a code which will beat 100% of the other solutions. Okay, if you can show, like what I'm showing you currently, if you can show the same thing in an intro, believe me, this will create an impact. Okay, this will force the interviewer to give you a remark that, yeah, the person coded a solution which is best among all the solutions possible. Okay, as simple as that. This is the first thing. Second thing is that, always try to, whenever it's easy question, what can happen is, if you're able to solve it in very quickly, what the interviewer will ask you is, you are using some inbuilt functions. Try to code a way in which you're not using any inbuilt functions. This is the second thing that I always recommend for easy questions. If it is easy question, always try to see if you can code without using any inbuilt functions or not. In my case, obviously I've done that. I'm not using any inbuilt function as such. Okay, as simple as that. Inbuilt function, it means like it's more related to a string. Okay, for a string, basically there are so many inbuilt functions, right? So I'm talking about that. Again, this question, we are not doing that. Only the seal is something that is inbuilt function that we apply. Other than that, we are not doing anything, right? And other than that, always have a backup language. For example, in this case, I'm showing the Python. Always have a backup language, that is, say, Java or C++. In this case, you should be able to code in more than one language. Okay, you should be proficient to solve in at least two languages. See, first one should be in your it should be within your muscle memory. Okay, first language, that is, let's say, Python or Java. The second language, with some reference, you should be able to code. Okay, you should have the ideas, you should have a idea about the syntax, about the data structures, and with some reference, that is, with a single Google search, or maybe sometimes multiple documentations, you should be able to refer and should be able to code. Okay, that is what I expected from you, that, yeah, you should have the you have the knowledge, but you are not, in the recent past, you have not worked on it a lot. Okay, that is something that we expect from a candidate who is appearing for the interview. Okay, at least two good languages you should be very good at. Okay, so yeah, that was all for this particular video. I hope you will consider these 3 points. Okay, the first one is, if it is easy question, always try to have a solution which is beating 100% of the solutions. Second point is that, avoid using any inbuilt functions. Maybe in the first solution you can use it, but in the second solution, the interviewer may ask you to code a solution which is not using any inbuilt function. And third one is, for easy questions, it is always expected that you can code in multiple languages. Okay, at least two proper languages should be able to code. In this case, Python and Java are the most best cases I can talk about. Okay, so yeah, that was all for this particular video. And if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. This really gives a lot of motivation to continue further. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.